What's happening, all you awesome fuzz butts out there? This here is Shasta, GSD, back for another super awesome little talk slash video thing. I don't know really what you want to call it, but neither here nor there. This one here is going to be super awesome and super fun because it is about a topic that is not only very near and dear to this Shep's heart, but is also near and dear to a lot of people that I happen to know very, very well. I am, of course, talking about the ever controversial topic of dancer furs. Now, I know right off the bat, a lot of people are going to be saying, oh, it's another video talking about dancer furs. It's probably going to be some insulting deal like so many of the others, or defending the dancer furs, or this, or that, and the other. And I'm here to say, y'all can put your thoughts aside because it's nothing like that. For one, I'm definitely not here to complain about it. And number two, I'm not here to say, oh, the dancer furs are this, and no, they're not that, and this, that, and the other, because I've seen too many videos where people are just saying that over and over due to some troll or some person who really doesn't understand the dancer furs making a video talking about, oh, the dancer furs are so stuck up because they're in these little groups and blah, 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 blah. The reason I'm making this video here is because not only is this, like I said, a topic that's very dear to me, I believe it's a very misunderstood topic. And the reason I say it's misunderstood is because a lot of people really don't take the time to try to understand what the dancer fur community or the dance community in general is all about. I mean, just like, you know, people want to know more about, I don't know, music, you know, different genres of music. You want to find out different things about it. The same thing applies with dance, because just like music, there are so many different genres and so many different forms of dance to learn about out there. And the dancer furs, from what I've seen, have displayed so many different types. And I know I just kind of went off on a tangent for a second, but like I said, I think the dancer furs are very, very misunderstood. So the whole point of this video is not so much to just, again, you know, talk about the dancer furs in general. It's more so to educate you guys about what the dancer furs really are from my own personal perspective. And not only that, talk about really what dance in general, not just in the furry community, but what dance in general really means to me. So you sit back, grab a drink if you got one. I don't happen to have one on me right now. And let's sit back and talk about what dance really means in the furry community. So, in the furry community, as many of us know, there are groups of all different types. I'm talking, we have groups of artists, we have groups of fursuiters, as many of us know. There's all different kinds of fursuit makers out there, and they each have their own little groups that they like to hang out in every so often. I'm sure that's definitely no stranger to a lot of people out there. But one of the more prominent groups that has blossomed over many, many years in the furry community is, of course, the dancer furs. Now, what the common misconception is with the dancer furs is that basically we walk around with our noses up in the air, and to anybody who's like, you know, trying to be a dancer but can't dance as good as some of the people who really have got the stuff for the most part down pat, well, that's where everybody is wrong. Dancing in general, for me, is really about one word: respect. I mean, just like any musician out there has respect for any of the other musicians or composers or DJs, maybe in their particular genre, or maybe just in general, the same thing applies to dance. Because if you go around talking trash about people who can't dance, or you know, you go talking trash to people who actually know how to dance, try to maybe make yourself feel better, you're really not doing anybody any justice. And that's what really the thing has been going on in the fandom lately, is people have just been saying, oh, these dancer furs are talking trash to us because we can't dance, or oh, I can't dance and they're so much better than me, and oh, they suck because, you know, they're so much better than I am. I've heard it all, guys. Trust me. I have heard just about every kind of misconception and saying about the dancer furs in general. And I can tell you that a lot of those are far from the truth. I mean, when I very first came into the dance community, as far as furry-wise, in 2012 at Midwest Fur Fest, I mean, yeah, I didn't know how to dance. I kind of did, but for the most part, my version of dancing was flailing around and looking like a complete idiot. But at the same time, you have to think about, like, I basically was learning. I didn't really know much back then, but at the same time, I also had a very different attitude to what I do now. It wasn't so much about respect back then, it was just a competition. I went into this like competition mode, and I think that's what a lot of people do nowadays. They go into these dance competitions and they don't fully understand the notion of, it's great when you win, and yes, there is some heartbreak when you lose, but that's the thing about the dance community in general. It's not just a competition, but when there are competitions, such as fursuit dance comps and dance ciphers and all that stuff like that, there will be people who will win, and there will always be people who will lose. It's a fact. And I see a lot of people, and myself included, I've had this happen, that get extremely bent out of shape when they don't win, and it just sounds extraordinarily selfish. Now, like I said, I've been guilty of this plenty of times. I had a completely different attitude and demeanor towards the dancer furs prior to, I'd say probably about a year and a half ago, or maybe even just about a year ago. I sounded very self-centered, and it's just not the way to go. It's really not. But, you know, when, like, take for example, you go into a fursuit dance competition. I've not actually been in, but as far as like trying out, this will be my 10th convention this year at Midwest Fur Fest 2015. And from the very get-go, I have competed, or I have tried out for every dance competition there is at every convention I've been to. I'm talking about Texas Furry Fiesta, which I've been involved with 3 times. I did Anthrocon twice. I did Biggest Little Fur Con once. And then, of course, I will be doing MFF for the 4th time. And when I very first did it in 2012, I mean, it really hurt when I didn't make it in. But that's because I didn't understand the concept of respect. I just didn't. I mean, yes, I admired other dancers and I had them as inspirations, but I didn't quite grasp the idea of, you know, being humble, I guess, almost you could say. You know, I still had the fact that I just even got to compete. There are so many people that want to compete in a dance competition but don't, or they even want to compete in the preliminaries but they don't. God only knows what reasons they don't get in. I mean, maybe they miss it, or maybe they just don't want to, or something. Anyways, I know I went off on a tangent, but when I very first came into the dance community, I knew so many people that to this day are amazing dancers. I mean, they all have their own awesome aspects, and it's because they've worked for it. It's because they've practiced consistently, probably from the time they were really, really little, or little puppies, as us furries like to call them, to where they are now. I mean, people like my friends Atsu Fox, Sadie Wolf, Flipsta Lombax, Ikado, even my own Forsaken brother, Motomo Wolfbat. I mean, we're all still learning at some point, but there are others out there who have really put in the effort. And there's some people out there that are just dedicated to one style of dance. Like my friend Ray Ray Fox is dedicated to Crump, the sort of angry, expressive kind of dance where they're very sharp and sort of angry movements. But it's because he's dedicated to that. It's a style of dance he wanted to dedicate himself to. And it's the same thing with my friend Kaw. You know, Kaw wanted to do the exact same thing. So they dedicate themselves to that kind of dance. And when you dedicate yourself to something like that, you just strive to be better and better and better and better and better. And, I'll guarantee you, if they ever went into a crump competition and they didn't make it, they still have respect for their fellow crumpers. Same principle applies for dancer furs. I mean, like, I could sit here and go on and on and on and talk about, how there's just so much to talk about, and I'm kind of losing a little track here, but the point I'm trying to make in all of this is, if you guys have a passion for dance and you want to find out more about the dancer furs, don't go talking trash about us before you actually get to know us. That's the thing I think a lot of people also don't understand is they want to just talk trash just to talk trash, but they don't take the time to get to know the people that do this sort of thing. You know, like if you were to talk one-on-one, seriously, with like Atsu or anybody like that, I guarantee you that you will notice the passion that they have for dance, but at the same time, I guarantee you they will also give you advice as to, you know, to build you up. There's a difference, guys, between talking trash and constructive criticism. If you see somebody doing something or trying to do something, but they're not quite doing it right, and you feel that you could give them a little bit of a push to help build them up and maybe to help motivate them and to help them improve, then yeah, go for it. You know, you like, for instance, I'm not the best tutter. Like, you know, I love tutting. I love it's a great style of dance. I think it's very unique and I think it's very interesting. But trust me, I can't tut worth beans, and I say this, you know, lightly. I really can't tut worth beans when it comes to some of the other people who have got it down pat, like Snowy Fox, Atsu, and just people who have practiced it over and over and over and over and over again. Now, I'm not saying, you know, you're going to get it overnight. You're just not. It's not that easy. But the saying is true, practice does make perfect. So going back to the dancer furs in general, I'm just going to say, don't ever be shy to come up to somebody who's a dancer and say, you know, you guys are really good, you know, and if you see a dance cipher going on at a, you know, you see it going on at a convention, you know, one of those big circles, jump right in, have some fun, jump around and act like a fool. It doesn't matter, you know, because it's like my friend JD Puppy said, we're all family here. We're all dancers. We all have love, and a lot of us have respect for each other. I mean, yes, still some people, they don't walk around snobby, but there have been some people who have felt they can hold their heads higher than others. But I'm not going to name names, and no, it's not anybody I know personally, but I know of people like that. And I guess if I can take one lesson or if I can give out one lesson from all of this, it was an example of an event I went to just recently called World of Dance. Now, World of Dance is a big community of dancers, no furries, well, at least I don't think so, that, you know, they do these big tours and they have these dance groups and all sorts of cool stuff like that. And recently, when I went to this event, there was this big dance battle thing going on where the ultimate winner that got all the way out to the finals and competed and got to number one, they won money and they also won a trophy, which I thought was pretty cool. Now, I just signed up just for the hell of it. And I got to go up against some of the coolest people I've ever met in my entire life, furry and everything aside. And every one of them, all they kept telling me was, A, you know, it's about respect, but B, if you have fun doing it, who gives a flying, pardon my French here, but who gives a flying shit whether or not you are the best damn thing on the planet? If you're having fun doing it, you don't get the best crowd's reaction, so what? You go home, you practice some more in front of your mirror, or do whatever, go to your local dance gym and bust your ass and get up, get moving, and keep practicing at it, and eventually you may get those awesome crowd's reactions that you really want. You know, I love getting crowd reactions, but I haven't always gotten them. Sometimes, you know, I don't get any at all. But when I was at this World of Dance event, the amount of respect and love that everybody had for each other was unreal. In fact, I actually, and I'm just saying because this did actually happen, I was noticed not only by a dance icon who I have seen as an inspiration since I very first learned about World of Dance, named Ditto, who is only 17 years old, and she is an amazing dancer. She's worked so hard, but also by, I can't remember the guy's exact name, but he is part of a dance group called the Electrobots. Now, if you've never heard of them, I suggest you go to World of Dance and take a look. But one of the Electrobots looked at me when they were doing a series of autograph sessions with some of the celebrities at this event, and he looked at me and he said, "Dude, were you one of the ones breaking it down in there?" I was like, "Yeah, I had a blast." And he goes, "Dude, you were dope. That was awesome." And I'll tell you, it felt really good. It wasn't so much one of those fangasm moments where you're just like, "Oh my God, someone famous recognized me." No, just to hear those words come out of anybody's mouth, they're like, "Dude, that was awesome. That was really dope." That's the kind of respect I'm talking about. And the same thing goes back to applying to the dancer furs. Sitting in a cipher, you see something awesome, say, "Man, that was so cool what you did right there. Could you teach me how to do that?" If they're like, it's a move you've never seen before. Or, "That was really awesome, man. It's so cool that you have such a passion for dance. You should come join the Fursuit dance competition, or you should come to more of our ciphers when we have them." It's uplifting words like that really mean a lot to people. And granted, yes, I will say it. I'm just going to say it right now, and I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but the furry fandom is definitely not the best place to learn about, love and respect and all that kind of stuff. Because I will admit, there are certain sections of the fandom that let's be honest, there is just nothing but drama and people who think that dumping their problems on everybody else is going to get all kinds of attention. And lately, the furry fandom that is today is not what I was brought into back in the mid-2000s. So, it's changed a lot, guys. But I think if, as dancer furs, we still hold together the idea of we're all still dancers here, we all still have respect for each other, we all still love each other, we all still support each other, then I think we can still make the dancer fur community a wonderful place to be. And I think that slowly we can still start to change perceptions of what the dancer fur community really is. Now, in all honesty, I know there are still going to be trolls out there that are going to be hating and that are going to be saying, "Oh, the dancer fur community, they still are stuck up, they still walk around in cliques." Think what you want, but I'm just here to say that in my own personal eyes, I couldn't be any happier to be a part of the dancer fur community. I've made wonderful friends out there from all different walks of life that are dancers. Some as acquaintances, other ones are friends that I hold so close to my heart. I love them so dearly. Just people that have been uplifting, that have given me an idea, a sense of respect. But as one final message, guys, if you are the type of person who wants to talk trash about dancer furs, you really don't have any place to be talking like that around us. You really don't. You can talk trash all day long, but you better be ready to get a reaction back, because it's just not, it's not worth it, guys. It's really not. There's probably not going to be very many people listening to you in the first place, and I'm not aiming at this at anybody in general. I'm just saying there probably isn't going to be very many people, or there probably aren't going to be very many people that are going to listen to you if all you're going to do is bitch and whine and complain about somebody's reaction to something, or you misunderstand something and then you blow it all up and it causes this big pile of problems. As someone who just doesn't like problems in general, I'm just going to tell you guys, it's really not worth your time to just start bitching and moaning about something. It's one thing to confront the problem and say you don't like something. It's another thing to just make it even worse. So, despite all of my ramblings, I want to send a huge shout out to all of my dancer fur friends. I love you guys so much. You guys have been nothing but uplifting to me. Yes, you've had to deal with me bitching and whining in my early years as a dancer. I so wish I could be like you guys, and I hate it that all the popular furs get to go on stage and do all this kind of stuff, and the fresh talent never exists. That was the old me. This is the new me. I'm going to tell you guys right now, you better be ready, because there's going to be some awesome fresh talent appearing at these conventions very soon. I've seen tastes of it here and there. I've seen people that have been dancing at the smaller conventions that one day I guarantee you they're going to be up on the big stages like MFF, Anthrocon, Further Confusion, you name it. They're going to be there. and I just cannot wait to see the kind of fresh talent that's going to be coming out of it. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for being supporters of the Dancer for a Family, for those of you who are. And if you're not a supporter, well, then I hope to see you on the flip side if I ever do. Anyways, guys, this has been Shasta GSD. Thank you for sticking around for my ramblings, and I hope to see all of you guys in my next webcam video or seeing you at the next con. See you later.